how much did you cry like a baby when you dropped your son off at college?
I have not cried in 45 years. How dare you even insinuate? Dude, let me
Dude, that's a
tell you.
nice segue because I know you cry from 30-second spots. I got a topic for the week because while you dropped your son at college, something major happened in the ad world. It's football season. In a lot of ways, it's kind of ad season. The amount of ads you get exposed to. I did a little search on this. There's been 10,000 ads already served during NFL games. 10,000
Wow.
ads. When you sit down and watch a game, you see approximately 67 30-second spots. It's an absolute onslaught. We all saw that Wall Street Journal report that came out a few years ago. You watch a football game for 3 hours. There's a total of 11 minutes of action. 11 minutes out of 3 hours. The rest
Yeah.
is ad time.
3 hours. It's almost 4 hours. Let's be honest.
Yeah, the good games.
Yeah.
I think there's something unique about us, and maybe more so than for me than you, but I love advertising. But I also have a love-hate relationship with it. Most of the time, advertising just pisses me off. And I like to think maybe if you want to be good at music or sports or medicine or advertising in this example, you have to be a little bit angry. You need something that you're going to rebel against. And I think I spent a lot of time in books and brand champions sort of talking about the folly of advertising. But I think for today, we found a few ads that are awesome in that we want to celebrate. So let's dive on in and let's look at some ads together.
3, 2, 1, go!
Can we start with Ram?
Yes.
All right. So this ad came on and I was thoroughly enjoying it. It was everything I love about advertising. And the whole time, like, I'm sitting there, I'm like, I know that voice. I know that voice. I'm like, holy shit, that's Dana White doing the VO for an ad. I'm going to play this ad, and then let's chat about it.
So get out there, take your swing, burn rubber after the American dream. Rev your engines and let freedom ring. And never, ever, ever stop being American. Nothing stops America, and nothing stops Ram.
Oh, dude, can I just say, fuck yes, dude, that ad rocks. I'm not making this up. I'm not joking. This is not performative. I literally just got chills down my spine from the final line. That fucking ad is spectacular in every way. So let me pass it over to you. Like, why is this ad so goddamn good?
Oh, wait, can we let's take a step back. There's like bigger cultural implications here. So let's go back to the creative team that said, we're going to pitch this, right? Because I have a feeling, I don't think the brief or that came from the client was like embrace the, I'm going to say it, Republican side of our audience. Or I think it was like, we want to celebrate America. It's the start of football season, all this sort of stuff. But like, I think the creative team came back and said, we've done some research and I'm going to make this up. 85% of Dodge Ram owners are Republicans. First, right? 70% watch UFC. That's number 2, right? I think they went down the list before introducing Dana White because, let's admit it. He's a Trump supporter. He's polarizing. And they took a big risk, right? And I applaud them for all of that. And the ad's great. It's just awesome. It's because it's kind of like, yeah, fuck yeah, America, but it's also a little funny and campy at the same time. Like they're poking fun of themselves. I thought, well done. I think the thing that I thought was like just super intriguing was like what happened behind the scenes. Because Dodge was like, oh shit, like this is going to cause a stir.
I love it. I actually don't know if it would cause a stir because, yeah, they're serving up red meat. But if you're not a Republican, there's nothing not to like about it. There wasn't anything polarizing. He was certainly leaning into God bless America and all of that. But
well, let me juxtapose it with remember the Jeep ad that ran with Harrison Ford a few months ago?
Pretty good.
Okay. So that was like America, and trails, all this sort of stuff. That's the way they could have gone because Jeep played it safe, right? Dodge said, fuck that. Like, we're not going to play it safe.
I love that, right? Because when you see 67 ads in a game, and the last thing you want is another ad, the number one ingredient for failure is playing it safe. You can't ask for a worse idea than playing
Yes.
it safe. So gutsy. Go 60 seconds. Use Dana White. To your point, very polarizing. Hard to be inspirational and campy at the same time.
Yeah.
And also own it. Like,
They own
we've
it.
thought about this and we've talked about this before. You can make a persona or an archetype for your Ford buyer. Probably a little bit safe, fastball down the middle. There's so many F-150s.
Well,
Chevy, Ram is like a gutsy brand. And they're like, let's
so
lean into that.
so check this out. So we did a bunch of research on this, and because we were trying to come up with parallels for our Suzuki client. So Ford is like the American toolbox and construction. So you look at their ads, it's all about like what it can do, what it can lift, what it can tow. It's guys on construction sites, it's big hauls dumping in the back of the truck, it's pulling away. Chevy's all about like God-fearing, family, country, like in terms of like not country like USA, but like country boy, country family, wholesome. Ram figured out that we are gonna be the good old boy. We're gonna be the bad boy. And they had to do that in order to differentiate themselves from Ford and from Chevy. And like when you look, what truck did they decide to drive in Yellowstone in the show?
The Ram.
The Ram. That family's badass. They kill people. They chose a Ram.
Yeah.
This is a very calculated strategy that Ram is
To your
doing.
point, I'm sure they paid for Yellowstone, and that's a brave one. They're like, wait, these
Yeah.
family is sort of on the borderline of being lawless and gutsy, but certainly quite masculine and absolutely
Lawless, they
country.
are.
Like,
Yeah,
let's put our dollars there. Yes.
yeah. Yes,
The
that's
most
right.
painful component of an ad that there can be is being invisible. And we
Yes.
know the data proves it's 85% of ads are invisible. And I think that's research being kind. Like, when was the last time you can remember more than one or two ads that you see in a game?
They had such a clear positioning.
Yes.
They're willing to own it to the nines. And I think that's what sets them apart. They're probably not the best truck, let's be honest. I think that Ford has better features, specs, all that sort of stuff. I think Chevy probably has some nostalgia. Every goddamn country song has Chevy in it. But Ram, like it's a good truck. They're trying, but they got to own something bigger than just features and specs. Because as you know, every year, what feature was the best is no longer the best. What spec was awesome, the tow capacity gets beat within 6 months
Any
by
of
another
these
truck.
pickup trucks, which we know because we work in similar industries, are equally sufficient to do whatever the hell you want to do, right? So
Yes.
you got to tell that story. And I think you're absolutely right. It's not just like, oh my God, this creative is great and it's super fun. It's very strategic. They know their target audience. They know what excites their target audience. And they did not flinch when they leaned into that story.
100%. And that's why we're wearing our outdoorsy shirts today, right? Do you want to tell everybody that I owned a truck? Come on. I owned
was
a
with
pickup
you
truck.
when you bought a Ford F-150 and you
Yep.
drove over half of San Francisco that day.
I think I did.
That thing
I
was
might have, there might have been some Priuses that got in my way. But yes, I think for, what was it, about 10 days and 22 minutes, I owned a Ford F-150.
That truck is not made for San Francisco. It literally, every time you took a turn, you were smashing things with that thing. It was fun as shit,
Yes.
though. I enjoyed it.
It was a great truck. Great truck.
The other thing that I think is awesome in this is they brought in Dana White, but they don't mention it in any way, shape, or form. It's not like, and here's Dana White, and he doesn't even show up. And I'm sure, to your point, like the behind the scenes analysis that you try to guesstimate is super fun, but I'm sure there are arguments like, well, we're paying him this much. No one's going to ever know it's him, but we know that voice. He's got 20 million social media followers every single day. Hundreds of millions of people every day follow him around the globe.
Well, I think I think that's the genius part of it. If you don't watch the UFC, right, you don't know the voice. So you are not offended when you see the ad. For those who know the voice, they're like, fuck yeah.
Yes.
So it was a way of catering to their audience without alienating. Have they shown Dana White? I think they talked about it. And they're like, no, don't do it. We don't need to. We
Which
don't
is
need it.
cooler. It's more authentic. He's not the story. He's
No.
the deliverer of the story. But
And
if he
then
was injected into it, it would water it down. It's all about Ram.
yeah, and then he'd have to drive a Dodge Ram truck, and we all know that Tiger Woods doesn't drive a Buick, and yeah,
He drives a Ram now.
maybe.
All right, so let's go to another one. I'm going to bring up
Yeah.
another one that we saw.
Yep.
Not necessarily during the game, but right around game time. Here's this
Which one are you
one.
showing?
Again, it's 2 minutes long.
Yep.
And that's a huge point on that Ram one. In addition to all the other bravery about messaging, strategy, voiceover, it's 60 seconds. In a
Yeah.
world where, like, we can barely pay attention for more than 2 seconds, leave alone a 6 or a 15, barely a 30, you're riveted for 60 seconds. But here's another one. Uber Eats, Brian Cox goes to college. This thing is 2 minutes long. I loved every second of it. Let's play it.
Sir, parents are over there.
Good. Mine are dead. Cox, freshman.
Oh, this is your ID. It's also your room card.
Yeah,
Okay.
School's good. My roommate, my roommate is Brian Cox.
You, out.
Oh, I'm sorry. This is my room.
No!
So he's intense. I don't think he's really here for the college experience.
My name's Alex, and I'm doing a double major in art history and political science.
You'll make a great barista one day.
Okay, who'd like to go next?
I actually think he's just here for the access to Uber One for students.
My name is Brian. My interests are food and saving money on food.
And Brian, what are you majoring in?
What is this? 20 fucking questions?
Okay.
Top man.
He really loves those discounts. That I know. Discounts on smoothies,
Out of my way, pigeons.
discounts on rides.
All right, man.
Yeah.
I love it, but tell me what you think.
No. I want to hear from you. Like, tell me what you loved about it.
Well, first of all, I'll summarize it, and this is why we picked it. I think the whole thing is an absolute stroke of genius. And again, same reason, which is it's brave. The Ram ad leaned into one thing that I think all great brands do, which is inspiration. If you look at every great brand in the history of mankind, they all use the same thing, which is inspiration. You have to inspire people. This one isn't necessarily inspirational. It's funny as hell, in my opinion. That works. Most companies try it and fail, and there is nothing worse than a brand opening and saying, here's the brief, we want to be funny. That's just stupid. Like, stop. Like, no, you want to be strategic and you've got something you want to accomplish. Maybe humor is a delivery mechanism. But these guys, they leaned into it. So I just think it was brave. Opening line, good, mine are dead, talking about parents. How fucking brave is it to open an ad when it's like parents are over here, good, mine are dead? That is a dark line. So dark. And 60 seconds later, he drops a complete F-bomb. Hugely, like, obviously that's not going up on broadcast TV, but millions of people have watched this all throughout streaming, etc. So brave to do that. But honestly, it's strategic. Like, the usage of the logo, that green that they own, it shows up over and over and over again. If you listen closely, the reasons to believe, the words like discount and discount and discount and repeated over and over again. It's just a great mechanism where they weren't like, hey, let's be funny, but they're like, let's be strategic and let's let the humor carry that strategy.
Yeah, I totally agree. In an age where ads are just funny to be funny, like, and then they stick on the reason to believe later.
The worst.
This was really well weaved in. They even weaved in Uber rides,
Yeah.
right? Rideshare, which I thought was great. Here's what I loved about it. So this character is clearly Logan Roy from Secession,
100%.
like clearly,
Yep.
captain of the world, smarter than everybody else, outmaneuvers the entire world for 5 years on Secession.
Yes.
He's using Uber Eats.
That's
He's
a
saving
great
money
point. Yep.
with Uber Eats.
Yeah. You're not too cool and you're not too successful. As a matter of fact, the definition of success is not pissing money away. Logan Roy proves it.
That's exactly right. Because I'm watching and I'm like, no, that's what Logan Roy would say. And I'm like, it makes perfect sense. And as a Secession fan, I want more Logan Roy. He
You
stole the
can't
show.
get enough. You can't get enough.
Not get enough. Yes.
Yes.
By the way, my son is watching it right now. Randomly decided to start watching it. He called us up last night, and he's like, "Have you guys seen Succession?" We're like, we're both like, we're so happy you're watching this.
Genius. Did you tell him that
report
you
back.
literally watched every season 3 times each?
Oh, 3 times each.
Yes.
Yes. So good. And if anybody out there is also a Logan Roy fan, just go to YouTube and find Logan Roy's greatest Succession clips. Like, it is 5 minutes of pure hilarity.
Dude, we should do this. We should do a whole podcast of trying to figure out how to say "fuck off" the way he says "fuck off."
Fuck off, ta-ta.
Oh,
Yeah.
played.
Or
I can imagine.
I think the greatest non-line that he would utter is somebody would say something to him and he'd go, uh-huh.
Yeah, you do. I know you like that line because it's the same shit you pull with me when I've got a great idea. Hey, Jordan, I got one. Uh-huh. I'm like, fuck.
Uh-huh.
Ruined. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Just like,
That's when I
Don't
knew I absolutely blew it in front of 10 people. Because if it's just you and me, you just be like, screw off, Rosenblum, that idea sucks. But when on a Zoom, and there's 10 people like, uh-huh, yeah.
all right. I'll say, oh, great idea, Rosie. Great idea. Let me write that down. We'll come back to it.
Those are words I've never heard. All right, I'm
Yep.
pulling up a new one. This one,
Yep.
absolutely love. This one was on broadcast. It was during the week 1 of the football game, at least for me. And it's the new Nike Just Do It campaign with Tyler, the Creator.
Why do it? Why would you make it harder on yourself? Why chance it? Why put it on the line?
All right, Nike's new Just Do It with Tyler, the Creator. What do you think, Jordan?
I don't know. The strategist in me always kind of tries to pick this apart. So I think about Nike like the Just Do It campaign, right? Their tagline, not campaign, their tagline, their platform. When you hear Just Do It and Nike's telling you just do it, what do you think they're telling you to do?
Anything that you want to accomplish when something else may be standing in your way.
Okay. Does it ever, like, maybe you don't want to do it. It's too hard.
Yeah.
It's going to hurt.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. Same. But it always felt like that was about like exercise, like getting stronger, getting better.
Yeah.
Look, they're all about competition because they're all over all of these sports uniforms and all that sort of stuff. But they never explained, like, why should I do it? Right. And I like that they finally explained why. Right. Like, what are you going to get out of it? And they didn't need to, but they did it. And I love that it was like all about putting yourself on the line. Right. And I think that's a really good message, right? It's bigger than sports. And I think they know that. And so that's why I really like the whole strategy behind, why do it. What about
What do
you?
you think of the execution?
I'm a huge fan of Tyler, the Creator. I think he's bigger than music. I like the copywriting. And I like that it took a departure from the normal high energy Nike stuff. And it was like ethereal. And I kind of like that.
Yeah.
What about you?
I thought the whole thing was brilliant because the Just Do It tagline is obviously one of the greatest taglines in world history. And I think we talked about this recently, but their market cap when they came up with Just Do It was under $1 billion. Now it's over $100 billion. And obviously it's not all about the tagline, but I think it's an essential ingredient. And I remember, like, ballpark 5 years ago watching the US Open golf, and all of the top players had Just Do It on their hats. They're all walking up the way they have Nike logos. And I was like, holy shit, that is so cool, because the bravery just to have the consistency, again, that key ingredient of bravery is of the utmost importance and just not vacillating. 20 years later, going back to it. And then all of a sudden it sort of disappeared. And over the last 5 years, that market cap has decreased 10% compounded annually. Obviously, they have distribution issues. They have other issues. But I think they need to speak to this younger generation. And I think there's power in that consistency. But if you come back with it and you're just talking to me and just talking to you, the younger generation doesn't give a shit. How do you make Just Do It work for the next generation? And Tyler, the Creator, is a great mechanism, but he's not necessarily enough. I think to your point, you need to bring some depth to it. Our generation was, just do it. Oh, yeah. That generation is like, why? Can you explain this a little bit more? It's a smarter generation. So they've answered that strategic pillar and delivered it with Tyler, the Creator. They nailed it, I think.
And it's a bigger calling, right? Like going after a goal, a dream, a championship, a tournament, right? Or maybe not even sports, maybe something outside of sports, right? That is living a purpose-driven life, right? And I think they really tapped into that versus this idea of, look, it takes hard work to get where you want. And that has worked for them forever. It will work again. This Just Do It, like put in the work. But I love that they've gone to this purpose-driven stuff. Like there's a goal out there. Don't be afraid to go for it.
It's a huge point, and it's so important for who they're trying to reach, which is that next generation. Riddle me this one. There's something about the Ram campaign that I find a little bit braver. I get a little bit more of a visceral reaction watching it compared to the Nike one. I don't get the full chills down the spine from the Nike one. Why do you think that is?
Just, Nike's had their share of controversy, right? And put out great ads with Colin Kaepernick. If you're always in the limelight or controversial, then you're no longer controversial. I think you got to pick and choose that stuff. But also I think, can we be honest? Ram appeals to you more. Like, I just feel like that ad,
dude, anything God Bless America
who you are.
Rocks the house for me.
Right. Exactly. But you love Nike, dude. You're one of your favorite advertisers in the world.
Absolutely. Always will be. Always will be. And I love that they're going back to it. I think they brought in a bunch of new executives, new CEO, new CMO. End of last year, I think their market cap is starting to turn a little bit, or at least the diminishment of it is starting to turn around. But I think this is going to work. Absolutely. And then there's another ad. So you recommended this Michael V. CeraV ad. Give us a little setup here.
Yeah, so this is a 360 campaign. This is just one piece of the entire campaign. So I'm not going to tell you too much. I'll tell you afterwards, but play like 30 seconds, find out like what she's trying to insinuate, and then let's chat.
Hi guys, welcome to the Really Good Podcast with your host, Bobbi Altoff. Today we have
Michael Cera.
I've seen a lot of claims you've been making lately.
Claims?
Yeah, about starting a brand.
No, I don't think I've made any claims about anything.
Yeah, you have.
No.
Yeah. What do you mean?
What are you talking about exactly? Just where?
CeraV.
Well, that's funny. I mean, my name is Cera, so.
Yeah, and you claim you started that.
No, I just say, I don't claim that, but if you look at my name is Michael Cera, so, and then, people kind of tend to draw the
no one draws
obvious.
That.
Well,
no one draws that claim.
And neither do I. But
yes.
I just say, look at the name. That's all I say,
And
I do think that
you say that you started it. You've been saying that.
Those are what other people say, and I like I like to just say I have some skin in the game, and I kind of leave it at that.
Some skin in the game?
And
is that literal?
No, it's just an expression. It's not literal.
Do you use CeraV? How do you say it?
I do use CeraV. I think it's a fine product, and I think it's very hydrating. There are 3 essential ceramides in it, and a series of nourishing lipids, and I think it's a fine product. But that's as far as it goes. I mean, as far as what I'm willing to say.
Why do you know all of that?
All right, I'm going to pause here. So first of all, I have not seen that. It's absolutely brilliant. But tell me, what the hell am I looking at here?
Yeah, so Bobbi's a huge podcaster. She has some really funny clips out there that a lot of people know about. Anyway, she interviews celebrities. So CeraV came out with this new campaign, but they launched it with all these influencers who were spreading these rumors that they'd heard that the actual founder and originator of CeraV, moisturizer is Michael Cera. And so you see like these podcasters doing snippets and talking about it. They're posting it like on these bills all throughout New York, right? Like the posters that are all around. And they're building up this momentum that like, wait a minute, Michael's the founder. And then, of course, now CeraV, the company, has to come out and they're going to make a statement, right? And so they have to come out and be like, Michael is not part of this organization. He never has been, the whole thing. And then, of course, then Michael's like, that's not true. And it goes back and forth and it builds and builds and builds. And there's ads that ran during the Super Bowl and all this sort of stuff. And it turned into be this really great 360 campaign, which I thought was really smart because let's be honest, who cares about a moisturizer? Yeah. It's a moisturizer, right? It's called CeraV. It's unassuming packaging. You passed by it 100 times in your CVS. How are we going to bring any sort of notoriety to this? And they were like, okay, like, hold on to your seats. This is the long shot. What if we got Michael Cera to say he actually founded the whole company?
So what is it about this campaign that you love so much? Why does this work?
I think this tapped into this idea of hearsay and rumor and surprise with a character who is incredibly endearing and funny, right? And was going to play along the whole way with this. And I think that was the way they were going to break through. I don't think they were going to try to break through by saying it has better, what does he say, lipids and whatever the other shit.
Who gives a shit?
Who cares?
Whatever it is, everybody's got it.
Yeah, exactly. So, in today where we see so many brands just trying to use humor for humor's sake, I like that they're like, okay, look, we're going to use humor, but we're going to try to do it in a whole different way, right? That breaks through all the noise out there and reaches a young audience.
Well, everything about it is different. I mean, to your point, it's 360, but it's really, the way I look at it is it's digital first, leaning into podcasts and this sort of custom podcast. It's content first.
You've got 100 other influencers all talking about like this thing. Then they ran Super Bowl ads. They had videos of him behind the scenes at CeraV trying to pitch them on these ads that he wants to run.
It's not advertising. Every influencer campaign or so many influencer campaigns are, we're going to bring in an influencer, and then they're basically doing a 30, a 60, maybe a 90. It's not quite an interruptive TV ad, but it's the same ingredients. Now they're creating content. Podcasts, behind the scenes. By the way, you can see it. I don't think I'm speaking out of school here. Michael CeraV is not a hot model. Every goddamn skincare company is a hot model. He's got this kind of raggedy beard. He's a comedian. He's not the best looking dude in the world. So it's like the mechanism they're using, the spokesperson they're using, the fact that it's not one influencer, it's not one campaign, like everything about it is the same goddamn ingredient as Michael Cox for Uber Eats and Dana White for Ram. It's just bravery, brave. Thus, it's not invisible.
And it's bigger than just a 30. Like, and I think you're going to see more of this, right? Like 30 is great, but how do we break out and create a whole ecosystem, right, that can surround people? And I mean, look, just to be clear, Dodge Ram, their audience is probably, I'd say, older millennial, Gen X, right, and boomer. CeraV was clearly trying to go after a younger audience, right? Hence, why they reached out to the 100 influencers that they did. They got Bobbi and her podcast. So, a very interesting strategy to go and try to reach an audience that's not watching TV.
Yes, and it's so funny because whenever you hear about influencers and even digital, the budgets are often really small. Then you hear about these TV campaigns, not just like the Super Bowl, which is tens of millions of dollars, but so many of these TV campaigns, by the time they're done with their reach and frequency model and producing this thing for 30 seconds, millions and millions and millions of dollars in. And then they come down to influencers or digital, and it's nothing to sniff at. but it's a small fraction. And I think to your point, it's all in. Like let's take that same budget and not just play with an influencer or two, not just play with a 30-second, like let's make a podcast. Let's have 100 influencers. Let's surround it on billboards. Let's go behind the scenes for the Super Bowl. Like, do it. Like, fucking do it in this world. Either do it or don't do it. And they did it. And it's amazing.
Super brave. Obviously incredibly complex. But I'm sure they broke it down into simple parts and like, we can execute this. Might take a little more work, but this is what it's going to take to reach this audience.
Yeah. And what is this, by the way? Is this an actual podcast? They did like a full-blown podcast with him, and this is the key topic of it?
Yeah, I know you're old, so I'm not, but Bobbi's podcast is huge. And I think she really laid it on the map when she interviewed Drake, which was hilarious. And then she has since had on some really funny interactions between celebrities who don't quite understand her humor. She's super dry. And like what you saw is exactly who she is. And she's blown up. So that's Bobbi Altoff.
1.5 million subscribers.
Yeah.
And they're all fully focused on every second of the content. Unlike a 30-second spot where we started during a football game where it's the last thing you really want at that moment.
Yeah, I would argue she's as much of the campaign as he is because she is a character. She's not just an interviewer. She is, I don't know if that's the way she is in real life, but she is a character who is incredibly interesting to watch interview other people.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
All right, so it is ad season. This one is a little outside the box, not relying upon a 30-second spot on TV, but we've seen Michael Cera for CeraV. We've seen Dana White for Ram. We saw Brian Cox for Uber Eats. And we saw Tyler, the Creator, doing an update to Nike's Just Do It. So help me out with this one, Jordan. If you were to cut across these, give us a little summary statement, write a brief. What is the key ingredient that brands can learn across all of these ads that we saw today?
Great creative is built on great strategy.
Oh, I didn't see that coming.
Yeah, like it could be the prettiest, coolest, best-sounding soundtrack in the world, but it will fall flat if it doesn't have great strategy.
I'm going to say, fuck yeah. I had a totally different take, and your take is much better. So let's end on the high note, very strategic. Thanks for joining us on Brand Champions.
Brand Champions is a QUESTUS production. If you enjoy the show, please subscribe and review wherever you tune in. You can submit mailbag questions to brandchampions@questus.com.